and they get quiet. But so I think it's about control. And in my relationship, I've noticed that. You talk to me about these different guys, and you talk generic about it, but then I'm saying to myself, I don't do that, and you still try to treat me that same way.
Yeah.
So where's the problem then?
Yeah, and the control comes from
Right, that's what I'm saying.
it comes from the sex. That's where they are taught. It's the sex that's the control. Because what else are they using to control a man? It's the sex.
Thing,
and what they also fail to realize is that that is not to the heart of a man is trying to control him sexually.
Right.
What really stimulates a man is the thought patterns.
That's right.
Along with where their heart is, how are we a team?
Right.
How are we gonna work this thing?
Yeah.
But they thinking that no, it's this. You know, no. If you do that, you're gonna get cut off.
And you really only
Yeah.
got 20 minutes anyway.
Right.
You know, because I knew this was going to be the subject matter, and I want to know, do you think that us as black men, that we cheat more than white men?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I would. I think men cheat on the same level. It doesn't matter what color or what race they are. It's just how they were taught. That it always goes back to how they were taught. I mean, some guys are taught to cheat.
Some people are told.
You know,
In a family,
And
and they have sex with their own relatives. They're taught
That's
to
the way I
cheat.
thought.
Yeah.
Right.
I had the conversation with someone about the question you just asked, and my thoughts were that I kind of summarize it that white men or men outside of our culture take into consideration what they have to lose.
Always.
They take it, they take into consideration their home, child support, their 401k, their retirement, all of those things come into play.
So they just
In
chop them
my
up.
opinion, yeah.
That's why we don't do that.
They would rather, some now, look at the statistics, they would rather almost kill
They do.
That's what they do.
They separate.
than lose
Oh, they always
their material,
Financial.
their finances. So, but African American men, I mean, my brothers, I don't think you guys are more apt to want to go to penitentiary over, divorce or anything like that.
My concept on that though is this ain't a black-white thing anymore.
No, it's
there
not.
are more
No.
people of color in
Yes,
this world than there
yes,
are
yes,
Caucasians.
Yes,
And many of those cultures have whole different standards
right.
of how men and women interact
Yes.
and
That's
what's
right.
acceptable
Yes.
and what's not.
Yes.
That's right.
So, it's hard for me to even say
That's
this is the black men.
That's right.
I don't
No.
even consider
No,
that race
That's right.
anymore
no, right.
a race of comparison.
No, it's not an issue of race. I think what he was just saying, whether or not who has the more
Proclivity for that.
proclivity to cheat,
And the reason why I asked that, the reason why I asked that is because there was a time in America that we couldn't marry.
Right.
Yeah.
And Caucasian man came into our cabin and took our wife out
That's right.
and had his way
And
with her.
that's right.
And he was a cheater,
Yeah, yeah.
okay?
Well,
So,
To
so I'm
today's
wondering
standards,
I'm
yes.
wondering if, the black men that do cheat, and I know it was 200 years ago, whatever, if because we weren't allowed to marry, and you might be married and your wife was taken off somewhere,
That's right.
why is so many single parent households
That's right.
within the black community? Does it have to go back to slavery? People always think, well, I didn't grow up in slavery. Don't affect. Everything that happened to us affects us. Our health is affected based on
Because it formulates grooves in your mind.
That's right.
It formulates grooves. It's like you shooting a gun.
That's right.
Yeah.
The reason why the police can trace that bullet back to that gun is because the grooves of that barrel.
Yeah.
And it's the grooves in our mind
That's right.
of how our ancestors and how we were taught.
That's right.
And it's affecting us of how we react today. Although sometimes we don't acknowledge it, but it is the truth.
It is right.
The truth is the truth. It affects us how we react and act today. And sometimes that's what brings into question. People say, are we any different than we were back then than we are now? And in some instances, like a black president now, and we thinking that, oh, it's, you know, we've finally arrived. It's actually worse in a lot of instances than it was if that hadn't have never happened, because everything's come to the surface.
We're gonna wrap it up. I want to ask, go around the room and just ask the question. So, of course, you know about the title of the book is The Uncontrollable Penis. So, starting with you, Lee, what would you say, is the penis controllable?
Yes. Everything in life, it can be controlled to a certain degree,
Okay.
unless you just, unless your principles and your morals aren't there to allow it to.
Chris?
Yes, it can be controlled.
Andre?
I go back, it is controllable. It's just, which one are you gonna let control it?
That's good.
Okay. Ginger?
I would say yes. The penis definitely can be controlled. The key for me is commitment. You got to be committed to God. You got to be committed to this relationship. You got to be committed to the family. But if you lack commitment, you do what you want to do. I'm a grown man. I do what I want to do. But if I've got a commitment to God first, and then to my spouse second, that's what keeps me. Because look, I roll every day. We go places every day. We're outnumbered 22-1
Yeah.
here in Atlanta. We can get it any day we want. But am I committed?
Okay.
Because she can throw it at you, but if you don't take it, you know what I'm saying? So the commitment has to be first to God and then to that lady for it to work.
I know it's controllable because I know I've practiced it and I've been around people who practice it.
Okay.
It's just a matter of where your priorities are and where your mind is and what's important to you at that moment and being met.
Fred?
You know, I already said how it started out. Yes, it's controllable. I run him, he don't run me. You know what I'm saying? This is the greatest head I got.
Wow. I have two guests that just came on the set. I wanted to ask them to come and join me briefly. And before we close out, that two of my ladies, come on, have a seat.
And make sure we stay in control.
We have Valita Street and Tracy Alina. Okay. Ladies, how do you think the conversation went with the gentleman, and share?
Okay. What I enjoyed the most was that each one of the gentlemen seemed to at least bring out their heartfelt, what they really felt about it. Number two is very enlightening, because some things we suspected that was there, now it's cleared up.
Is there a question that you would like to ask the gentleman as a whole?
No? Okay. I think the bottom line would it be safe, and I want to say this from the standpoint of the women now who are seeking to be godly women. We're seeking to be very loving and very kind. We're now to the point where we want to see our men succeed and stand, and we want to feel that we can be what we need to be for the men. Now, that's just speaking from this perspective. There are women now that are saying, look, I don't know where we got it wrong, but I want somebody. I think one gentleman said it this way. He says, women are tired of carrying in 15 bags of groceries. It's a little bit more than that, but let's say we believe that when God designed it, He designed it for us to be together. Male and female, created He them. So my question will be to you. Can we feel safe now? And I want to say this so the men can hear it. The fear for a woman is, if I let go of my control and I give all of my heart, this man's going to hurt me. I don't know if I can trust him with my heart. I don't know if I can trust him to give him everything. Can it be safe to say, with the proper processing of time and learning each other, that we can now start out with the hope that it is possible to have someone that loves you?
Be very discerning of the man you choose to be with. You see red flags pop up, they're red flags.
It is
Be
what
very
it is.
discerning of the man you with. And if a man doesn't have a relationship with Christ and he does not respect and take care of his children, it's a red flag.
Okay.
Run. Run.
And life is a chance. You walk out the door early in the morning, you're not guaranteed to come back. There's no guarantee. So it's the same with love and relationships. A lot of times you have to take a chance, but being discerning and eliminate it down to the least common denominator that you feel that a mistake would arise in that relationship, eliminate it all the way down to that least common denominator, and then go with it. Everybody got their issues, but the biggest deal is to choose an individual that has less issues than others.
And one thing I like to ask you on that confuses me, and you should be discerning about what you're doing and be real with what he shows you. But what I don't understand is why is it that you don't take in that same consideration as the man could be hurt? That's what I seem to not pick up. You tend to put more emphasis on you being hurt, which tends to affect the relationship because of that you have a selfish mentality in dealing with him because you're worried about being hurt, but you want him then to give all to you and not worry about being hurt. So why is it that you can't see that he can be hurt? Why is it that you don't see that? Can you answer that for me?
I think that's an excellent point.
But tell me why then. Why is it that the black
I'm
woman
glad we
can't see
put the
that?
question out, because I put it out before to another gentleman. And you know what he said to me?
What?
He said, I said, this is before now, I'm learning better. I said, I'm not gonna let you step on my heart and break it. He said, you got feet too.
Right.
And that woke me up.
But
So I'm
why is it
glad
that you don't, but
Because-
I
but you
wanna
brought
know,
it out.
why is it that you all are not able to see that? Because it's like, as I listen to you, it's like you don't realize that men are hurt all the
They have
time.
feelings.
I think it's the stereotype
Yeah.
that is seated,
Yeah.
y'all said it, way back in the seat of our mind, that they gonna do what they wanna do anyway, and that they don't feel anything about it. That is something that has happened. Am I telling the truth?
Yeah, and one thing, I think, one reason why I think women arrive with that kind of mentality is because men have a way of putting on such like a tough man, you know, or you do what you want to do, you know, and like they can't, like you can't, you know, you can't be hurt. You can't be, you know what I'm saying?
Can I respond to
So,
that?
Sure.
I think that's a fallacy and a denial because these same women are saying that see men cry. They see men cry.
Okay,
They
okay.
see men break down. They see this.
Well,
They,
you know
they
what-
see what they see because they've seen their friends. They've seen a man break, and they've seen how a man is broken when you do that to him. But for some reason, you're immune to his pain. I think that's the reason why we're having a problem as a race.
Right.
It's like the black woman now is so consumed in control. She's immune to the pain that she does to a man.
And you know what? I so agree with you. I'm telling you, I'm an advocate for men, you know. I so agree with you that not just black women now, white women, Hispanic women, I mean, they're the same way. Well, but maybe not as much, but black, wait. Well, not as much because black women, in my opinion, feel like we've been so beaten down by men sometimes, so that we have to put on this exterior that of defense, you know.
Can we deal with that?
Well, another taping. See how good this is? Another taping. We're gonna let Tracy
Can I just
alone.
respond to that real quickly? In your question, you did exactly what we talked about. Why should I give up control
Right.
to you? So you've answered the question.
That was it.
You control and have that feeling of control over men that allows us to always be in a
Right.
position of defense
Of defense or
Right.
resistance.
or resistance.
I got it.
Men don't like to be controlled.
Right.
Not a strong man.
Men just want.
Because he's alpha.
You
He's
know
alpha.
what? And I'm gonna say
You know,
this.
he's alpha. And
The
he
one
just doesn't like it.
the one thing that I have learned about my God is the one thing he wants and desires is that he is believed and that we trust him.
Right.
That's the key. God, he wants to be trusted. Tracy.
Oh, I just wanted to say, all the men being married previously 23 years, learning a lot from each one of you men. Respect and trust, that's something that I just pulled out listening to all of you. But at the same time, women are emotional, which you should know.
Sure.
Men are logical.
Right,
So just piggybacking on what you were saying, we are so emotional. But one thing I do believe and know, that we are so geared, you know, like with control, that we have to just sit back and learn how to respect and trust.
Yes.
So I have learned
Absolutely.
something from every one of you guys, a different background, even sitting in a position of a pastor wife's prior. So a lot of stuff from the church to being just a regular woman of God, or just being out here learning certain things, you really learn by experience.
Exactly.
You know, and I just believe that out of all the men here, I have learned so much trust and respect. So I respect all you men today, and I'm not gonna say I trust you guys, but I thank you for that, seriously, because that's what we need to know as women. I'm just, you know, just to learn. You know, not knowing, getting married at the age of 19 years old, being married for 20-something years, and you grow and you learn and so forth. And it's not so much the, you know, as you could say, the uncontrollable penis, which is true. It's when one of you men said dealing with sex and control, as women control. But it's not so much about the sex. It's not even so much about the penis. It's about the need. The need, which, you know, what a man need. So I've been blessed today. So I thank everybody here today.
And I'm going to end it with this. One of the things I've shared with the women before in a taping is that women, God has given us one of the greatest gifts besides our men, and that is the power that He's given us in our bodies. And a wise woman should learn how to use that power. You know, she has the ability to break it down and to build you up, you know. Not denying you of the things that you need. You were created to have those needs, but to provide you with the strength, you know, that you need to maintain, to be the man that you were created to be, you know. And I'm so glad that you guys joined me today, you know, and the book will be released in September, The Uncontrollable Penis. I want you to go out and buy it and just really be honored and blessed by what you've heard shared today.
Put it all on me.